Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video slash podcast we're going to discuss the changes coming to Marvel Contest of Champions, and we're going to go through all the 4 roadmaps that we were given. We got the last one day before yesterday. So first of all, happy 4th of July to those of you living in the United States, and happy Canada Day for the people over in Canada. So let's start with the first roadmap, which is regarding quests. I will, if you're watching on YouTube, where I'm guessing most people would be watching this, I will try to leave the timestamps of each individual roadmap down in the comments. I'll pin it if I can remember doing that. So the first one is quests. So the first point here is Act 6 nerf, the retuning. So 6.4 paths defenders, 40 to 60% attack reduction. So that is around from 15,000 attack to 5 to 9,000 attack. That is, we're talking about paths defenders, not the bosses. And the bosses will get even more, 60 to 75% reduction in attack. So that will help characters like Obsidian the most, and other characters with low block proficiency who are otherwise really good. I guess Wasp would also benefit quite a bit from this. And attack value is in Act 6. So if you don't know my progression, I have 100% Act 6.1, and 6.2 is 80% done. Just the champion chapter left, and a few parts in the model one. For exploration, 6.3 and 6.4, I've mostly just done the completion, and I've done some extra parts here and there. But overall, you can see the attack value get really insane after 6.3. In 6.3, up to 6.2 it's alright, but 6.3 and 6.4, the block damage, it definitely adds up and is a bit ridiculous at its current state. So all these changes in the attack value will definitely make Act 6 a lot more easier. Plus 6.3, 6.2 and 6.1 will also be reduced in attack value. 6.1 and 6.2 I doubt we'll have a big change there. 6.3 maybe a 50% attack reduction. Then roadblock pain point fights to be looked at. They have a team for that. You could have applied for it's a group of 20-25 people, I think that's what they said. By the way, if you want to look into this in detail and you already don't know about this, I am kind of late on making this one, then you can go to the forums and read it there in detail. So the main roadblocks, I'd say the 6.2 champion fight is going to be addressed here. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. And after that, I think the 6.4 Darkhawk is a bit problematic for a lot of players. Maybe 6.1 Crossbones, you take out Vigor Node or something to make that easier, but because that has roadblocked a lot of players. 6.2 Mr. Sinister is definitely another fight which is not designed really well. It will definitely roadblock you, especially if you don't have a 5-star Heimdall or Angela and Hela for the synergies. Plus there is an Acid Wash Mysterio in 6.3, which a lot of people talk about as being one of the toughest fights. So all of that will happen pretty soon. This attack reduction, I think, is confirmed to happen by August's update. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's when it's going to happen. Then the 6.2 champion boss retuning. So the main phase that he has, when he is not in the last final 10%, then the damage that you take on nullifying the champion's buffs is reduced from 10% to 2%, which is pretty nice because you do have to nullify his furies and unstoppable there. So that is definitely a good change. But the biggest changes here, first of all, he will also get an attack rating reduction, but on top of that, the block penetration is reduced by 50%, which is huge for the final phase. That was the main problem why people were so upset about the Morningstar and Black Widow Clairvoyant nerf there. So the block damage usually gets you when you have 3 or 4 of those charges that you want, of the prowess. You add at the current state, you need 5 prowess charges in order to do any damage in the final phase. But here that is also going from 5 to 3, which is going to be a lot easier. You still need to learn how to dex his SP1 or SP2. That is not like a natural thing. If you're going in there the first time, you will need a bit of practice. I definitely recommend dueling before going in and practicing that. And then the biggest thing here is no retreat link being removed, which was definitely the worst part of the 6.2 champion fight. So overall, really good changes in Act 6. I wish they would have done these changes like a bit quicker. Like August is still not that far. We are in July now, but like right now we don't have any variant to do, new variants, or like basically for the people who have done everything, it's kind of a boring time right now. So but other than that, it's fine. And then book 2 chapter 1, I was not a part of the beta, but I did see some gameplay, and it didn't look like the fights didn't look that interesting, just like more attack and stuff like that. So here, shorter path, less fights per path, and plus we have just 3 quests if I'm correct. So that will be pretty nice. Short paths are always really good. I think they said that no path would be more than 70 energy, which is pretty nice. Like when you use energy refill, you should be able to finish the quest at least. Then champion swapping, like incursions. If you don't know that, I mean, probably know that, but you can swap your champions in incursions. It does make them go on cooldown as well, so it's not something that people usually do. But here, I guess in questing you can't really have a cooldown, but so that looks really nice. That definitely makes it seem interesting. It would open up a lot of options, like using Morningstar, you can just take in Guillotine and then swap her out after the first fight, so you can get the extra soul from the synergy, and then like it will have a bunch of great uses, that's for sure. And then clear path identities in terms of difficulty. Let's focus on hard RPG requirements, multiple final bosses per quest, which is I'm interested to see that multiple final bosses, how like it would look visually, but that is cool. So like let's say there is a Guillotine 2099, you are not comfortable fighting her, you can maybe take a Darkhawk, let's say. Both are not the best fights, I guess, but you do have some choices there. There will be probably one boss which is easier to fight, so that will help for those who are just aiming for completion. And the projected date for this is December 2020, with new chapters coming every 6 months, so looks good. I guess when I'm personally not in a hurry for Act 7 or Book 2 Chapter 1, whatever you want to call it, because I'm not fully done with Act 6 exploration right now. Plus the biggest thing here that we have coming really soon is Variant 5 Blood and Venom. So we're going to get it in August, so less than a month from now. And the champion tags and trignors buff, like Variant 2 you just needed to use XL champions. So here maybe Spider-Verse characters would be really good. I recently pulled a 6-star Guillotine. I'm hoping that would come. I do have a 6-star Venom as well, so that should be fun. Variants, as they go on, they do become easier and more fun as well. Like Variant 1 is definitely the toughest, and then I guess it's roster dependent, but most people will say the easiest variant is Variant 3 or Variant 4, depending on the roster. But by the way, I'm done with all 4 variants 100%, and now like Man of the Hour is the greatest rival and the hero. I'm not a huge Marvel fan. Like I really like the game, I really like the MCU, but apart from that I don't have a lot of Marvel knowledge. But the Man of the Hour in Blood and Venom, I thinking the 3 characters people are talking about are Spider-Man, Carnage and Guillotine. I'm not sure if I'm guessing all the Spider-Verse characters would be pretty decent here in this variant. More variant quests added to the quest team roadmap, so that's good. Like we'll have, hopefully by the end of this year we'll have variant 6 as well. Then Cavalier difficulty, this is big. So the first iteration with Canadian difficulty, which is live. So the first week I have 100% completed it. Aside from the 50,000 ambush of Sasquatch, it's pretty easy, I'd say. if the buffed up lane would cause problem to some players, but anyone who has a developed roster who has Explode 6.1 is probably used to, like, there are a lot of counters to buffed up, to be honest. Like you have Medusa, Captain Marvel movie, Hyperion, almost all the cosmic characters, and some synergies I guess would also help. We are restricted to using 3 characters, so that is, I guess, making stuff more difficult for a lot of players. I personally just took Ghost with Hood and Wasp, and that did most of it for me. Then we have second iteration with legendary difficulty, which would be the side event in like next month. So excited for that. The rewards for the side event is pretty nice. Like when we get the Cavalier difficulty, which we will get by September, we will have the Cavalier difficulty uncollected, and the Cavalier side difficulty and epic side event. So I'm guessing this would be like a huge reward increase there. So yeah, exciting stuff. Then they are talking about most stuff. Boss rushes, 5 boss rushes, 1 per week. Then if you are able to complete all those 5, you can do 1 week of Omega Quest, which would be really hard. I imagine with some pretty decent rewards. They have been really generous with the 5-star Nexus Crystal, hoping for something like that as the reward of the Omega Quest. And the normal boss rushes, they probably will be slightly easier. Something like if you're Cavalier or uncollected, you would be able to do without using much items. Then new music for 5 boss quests, exploration, champion selection. So I personally played with the game on mute, but it's like pretty decent change, I guess. It will be interesting to see if that makes me turn on the music while I'm playing the game. Then upcoming challenge for the top of the top. So that would be something like the maze. I think that's the last time we got that. So I did some parts of it, if I remember correctly. But overall, like that is what I want it to look like. An insanely hard challenge, but it should not be that rewarding that if you are not able to do it, then like it would be a huge thing for your account, because there's stuff like Labyrinth and Abyss which is pretty difficult, but that is permanent content, and here I'm guessing it would be like for a month. So if you don't have the right characters and stuff, it should not affect you too much. That's what I think on that. Then the second roadmap came up with talking about the alliances. So Alliance War, we did get the new map, the new nodes and stuff like that. They have said that they will nerf a lot of nodes before the season 19 starts, but they were working on it before the roadmap and stuff like that happened. So the new map, I personally am not a huge fan. There are some parts and node combinations which are just ridiculous, but they will work on that, and I hope that they will be removed before the next season starts. The rewards buff is what I want to talk about the most. The map and stuff, like it depends, I guess, where you are. The defender tactics, I was never a fan, and adding attacker tactics on top of that, I don't see how that will end well for them. But talking about the rewards, they are definitely the most important part for Alliance War, in my opinion. Like I've always liked wars, just the concept of it. So like I really as a content creator and also as a viewer, Alliance War videos are the most fun to watch for me, and also the most fun to make. So Alliance War is something that I am personally really interested in. They were buffed a lot for the top tiers, like Master, Platinum, Alliances, and anything below. I'd say Plat 4 also didn't really get a huge increase, and considering how difficult the new map is going to be and stuff like that, the rewards, they definitely could have used a bigger buff, and anything in gold and below definitely needs a big reward buff. because it takes a lot of work to get used to new paths, used to new nodes, figure out new node combinations. It's a huge work for all the officers and stuff. Rank up characters for new defender tactics. But I do like how they have increased the rewards exponentially for the higher tiers, like the master stuff. And I'm personally not in a master alliance or even plat 1, but they do spend a lot more. I watch a lot of alliance wars, and they spend like thousands of units each season, and they should be rewarded for it. It's only fair. So kudos to them on improving their rewards, but they should definitely give a slight buff at least to gold 1 and below as well. So then we're going to talk about Alliance War plus Alliance Quest Future. So complete redesign for Alliance War, like they did with dungeons to incursions. So interested to see what happens there. But most of these changes, like, they don't have a particular timeline, so we don't know when we'll get them and stuff. So additional ways for player to work together with their alliance mates rather than just linked nodes. That's something which sounds good on paper, because linked nodes with time zones and stuff, I don't think Alliance War is for AQ. It makes sense. We are going to work together in order to complete the map and stuff. In that also we have some map 7 changes, but I would have liked they don't have 10 paths in any of the sections in map 6 and 7, because if one person has an emergency to end into, or for whatever reason, if they're not available, it should not penalize the entire alliance 1 week of rewards. So that's my thoughts on that. Overall, I don't want to talk about Alliance War and Alliance Quest that much, because so the big things are the energy cap is increasing from 5 to 6. Energy that you are going to start from is increasing from 3 to 4. I never understand why it starts from 3, like why it's not maxed out as soon as it starts. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it should have either been 0 or full, and 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or 6 now. It doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever, it doesn't affect me that much, because I'm sleeping when Alliance Quest starts. So when I'm up, I am always at full energy. So refresh timer decreases from 1 hour to 45 minutes. Those are the big 3 things. And link nodes are also being reduced from map 6 and 7 in the first section. And map 7 rebalancing some of the pain points in the nodes, and the targets here is August and September. Everything else, like, they don't have a particular date for it. So I'm not going to talk about that in a lot of detail. Just going to mention stuff like battle group assignments, top champs being available, visible for AW and AQ, which is something that is live, which it went live with this update. But I don't see a lot of officers using it, because I still think that spreadsheets and stuff is more easy to maintain. Like, if you are online, you go through each person's album. That is easier than in-game clicking on individual person's profile and seeing the champion that they have. Plus, you probably would only show your top champion, so maybe you have a really good defender but you haven't ranked them up. So there are a lot of things that I prefer. I don't think that people, like, as of now, would use the top champion stuff more than line screenshots and albums and stuff like that. Path assignments, they don't have a release date for this, but this does look really nice, and we also get undo button, which is really nice. Automatic defender placement for officers, again, no release date. This is pretty good, but more work for the officers, I guess. And preview for the officer to set up entire week of EQ. So all in all, some really good things, but not beside the things that had a release date. We don't really know when they're going to show up. Alliance Wars, there was a lot in the post about Alliance War, but it's mostly what they want it to be and stuff like that. But they're not like actual changes with release dates and stuff, so I won't go in detail talking about them. Like, we're already 20 minutes in and halfway done, so let's move on. Then next roadmap is going to talk about champions. So this was my favorite roadmap of all four. So champion retunes / updates, new game team specifically focused on champion tune-up, so that's really good. They have to have separate new teams for just buffing characters, because they are saying that they'll buff 2 characters a month eventually, and we know the buffs coming, 3 next buffs coming, so that's really nice. All champions will be put in 4 categories: balance, tune-up, update, overhaul. So balance is like no need for any change. Tune-up, number of tweaks, example like how they made the changes with Human Torch. Update is number and minor ability tweaks, example Red Hulk. Overhaul, bigger kit rework like Hulkbuster, Colossus, and characters like that. So the first buff that we're going to get is the big update, like the overhaul, in September, which is both the Magnetos, red and white, and they did say that the red Magneto will be different from the white Magneto now. So the red one would the rework would focus on hunting metal heroes and characters, and the white Magneto would focus on hunting metal champions, like metal villains basically. So slightly different. Really interested in how that buff is going to be. I do have 5-star awakened Magneto, and then there is a September champion, which is probably going to be Professor X. They teased it here. Then crystals, this is really interesting here. So RNG will never be removed, stuff like that. Then 10,000 5-star shards for 10,000 like basic 5-star crystal. At the same price you will get dual class basic crystals, so that's really nice, and we will get it in the update in end July, August start. So like for example, you will have mutant and skill crystal. That will be the one I will be going for in order to get Aegon or Omega Red. So that would only have characters of these 2 classes. Roughly all classes have 30 characters right now, and so like it's a 60 champions pool gives you a slightly better chance to get the character you want. It's still a pretty low chance, but anything better than the basic pool is a win in my opinion, and the fact that it is for the same amount of shards is huge. It makes targeting particular character or multiple characters, because in each class there is one character for most people, I'd say. If you're not a whale, you don't buy all the Cavalier crystals every time, and you probably have at least one character in each class that you really want. So that's a great change in my opinion. Then for uncollected Cavaliers, one crystal contains so this crystal is going to be for uncollected and Cavalier players. So if you're not uncollected yet, then get that collected down. So next we have improving the selection of 5 and 6-star featured crystals, which the current crystal is an example of. So we have some really good pulls, except like Cyclops, blue Cyclops. Every character there is not terrible. There are some characters like Yondu, Winter Soldier, but like they also have uses. Yondu is not that bad. Like you can use him in Act 5 and stuff. He has heal block in the SP1, some utility at least. Killmonger's synergy, Winter Soldier isn't that bad either. Ultron, like double immune character with regeneration. Yeah, he doesn't hit that hard. There are better characters, but he is at least useful, which is something that a lot of characters are not. So not a pretty decent crystal in my opinion. So the 6-star featured will also get an improvement, so maybe just hold off opening basic crystals. 4th of July everyone really opened everything they had, but now I guess it's time to save, which is something I suck at. I can't even save PC shards. But next update is the biggest one for me, is the 6 stones. So solo events will give Cavalier players 1 generic 6 stone and 1 6 stone crystal. So for the 22 solo event, I am interested to see at which milestone we will get this, because currently on the 5th milestone we get the 4-star signature stone crystal, and 5th one is slightly harder to get, especially I hope it's third one. The third milestone is something that you can easily get in all the milestones except the event completion one. I guess completely remove that, and replace that with something better. But overall, like a solid change. Then uncollected. On top of that, I hope the Cavalier difficulty also gives some 6 stones, and if not, it's looking like the side event at least is giving some generic 5-star 6 stones. We saw that last month with the MCOC store, and this month as well in the solo objective, but it's just 26 stone crystal, 10 6-stone crystals and 10 generics, but still it's a start. And that's it for the third announcement, and going to the final announcement is a roadmap number 4, the future. So quality of life changes, ability to sell directly from overflow. I really like that. I hope I said this before in some video, I'm not sure, that anything that expires, just sell that automatically. Just give us the gold conversion of that. Like, I don't want to sell dual credits and stuff like that. So ability to sell directly from overflow is nice, but if they just make it anything that is in overflow that you can still save revives and stuff there, farm potions, but when they expire, just automatically sell them and give us the gold for that. Then champion with the hashtag filtering, so that's really nice. Would help a lot for variant stuff. It doesn't really help the gameplay or anything, but it is definitely a quality of life change. Dual targets, we already have that, but the fight again option will also be there, so that's going to be really nice. Then in arenas we have AI refresh, so no more death matchups, like all or nothing matchups. We still, if you do not follow certain teams, you will end up getting like 15,000 rank 5-star, and let's say you have rank 1 5-star with 3000 PI, you will still get that, but you can win that fight without having a power control champion, because they will have similar AI, which is really nice. So then we have improved rank rewards. So the 5-star featured will the rank rewards from at the top 150 gets it right now, and it will go increase to 300, which is great, but I still need to see what kind of cutoffs we are getting before saying that this is enough. I still hope that we get a 5-star basic arena sometime soon. I'm really bummed that it's not here right now, because there's no reason we don't have 5-star basic arena. It would have a percentage based thing, so like people will get in the pool, everyone, like multiple players can get themselves these great characters. The older characters, obviously the new characters will only be in the featured one, but let's say if someone is missing magic, and there are a lot of players, I recently tweeted that I reckon my 5-star magic, and Frojo, who is another YouTuber, it's a really big YouTuber, he commented that he doesn't have magic and he's been playing for like 5 years as soon as this game started. So like if a person like that wants to go for a character that they don't have, maybe just for a collection, like maybe if I don't have, let's say, a Cyclops, I want a Cyclops, so I should be able to get it easily. Like I should not have to sacrifice sleep, put on alarms in order to get a character who doesn't even have a use at this point. So I definitely would have preferred to see a 5-star basic arena, and then maybe the 150 rank would have been enough, but top 300. So let's see, hopefully the cutoff will be somewhere in 20 millions for the older characters, the less desired older characters at least, and the newer characters would go down from roughly 80 million. Like the good new characters are usually 80 million these days, so from there to more achievable, like let's say 50 million. So if that happens, then I say this is a win. Then increasing the rewards for just missed rank. So I'm guessing like another tier of rewards. I guess I was also hoping for new milestone changes and more changes in the rank rewards, updating the 6-star shards, the 5-star features, because like right now you can get 200 6-star shards, something really insignificant, and for that also you have to put 13 million points or something like that. So that's just not worth the effort. You do get 2000 5-star shards, which is decent, I guess, but some more shards from the rank rewards wouldn't have done any harm, I guess. And I don't see why we still have premium hero shards in the milestones. I was really hoping they will change to Grandmaster crystal shards for the uncollected players, and Cavalier crystal shards for the Cavalier players. So I was hoping that all those changes will also be there, but Arena, only these three are the changes that are mentioned here. And then we have 3-star, also a fourth one. The 3-star feature will be in milestones after 3 months. I'm not sure why it takes 3 months to do that, but anyways. Then quality of life changes, auto request help, really nice. Boost UI refresh, cache filtering, auto select champions. I'm really excited about all of auto select champions. If we can just click fight every time, even better. You win the third fight, you go to your fourth best character from there. You will still miss synergies and stuff like that, but it's not a huge point difference as far as I know. If you use synergies, so I'll totally be happy if we can just do that. Next, just click next and it goes to the fourth fight, and fifth fight, sixth fight, and you don't even have to leave the screen there. And then the deathmatch fix, so pretty solid changes, I guess, overall. They also talk about having a new game mode but an alternate to Arena, another solo game mode. So that might be interesting, but they are saying roughly a year before that shows up. So hopefully, definitely, a lot of people hate arenas. I am not one of them. I really like arena, watching streams and grinding arena. I hope you're grinding arena now, because I've been speaking for more than 30 minutes. But if you're not, thank you for making this far. Then we're going to talk about incursions. The store update will have some 6-star shards. So interested to see what kind of how much 6-star shards will we get. It's not a 6-star crystal. So it would be whether you want to target a specific 5-star character, you want to stick with 5-star basics or with 6-star shards. I'm hoping that we can get a decent amount of 6-star fragments here, at least 5,000 for 23,000 incursion artifact, whatever that is called. So I'm hoping the basic, whatever you need for the basic 5-star, give us 4,000 6-star shards, 5,000 6-star shards for that amount. I guess after that, why would anyone even go for the 5-star basic? But still, I'm hoping for something more than 500 6-star shards, 1,000 6-star shards, something like that. I don't want to see that really come to incursions. Then we have upcoming updates / features, removal of the first link. We're talking about incursions. So there will only be one linked node. So the first fight you can do that. New hacks, hack tiers and hack rebalancing coming in 6 months. Then firewall ability to start at a higher zone, which is pretty cool, I guess. It will hurt characters who are usually good in incursions, like when I'm the Dark, Aegon, who is Corvus, who can get also Morningstar with them, who can and you can get easy charges in room 1 with them and build them up, and then you get when you get to the higher zone, they're fully built up, they're really solid characters. So yeah, the person changes characters would probably still go from room 1 to stuff, but this will make getting the milestones really fast. So I'm all in for this. Then the cooldown timer auto resets after 5 days event. So yeah, that is actually a pretty nice change. I just realized. So if you do incursion on the 4th day, then also you will your characters will be refreshed at the same time as the person who did the incursions on the 1st day of the total 5 days. So basically every 5 days you will have champions refresh no matter when you play with them. So that is definitely nice. I'm hoping that 6-star characters are also part of that. Then matchmaking zone targets for accurate matchmaking. The incursion matchmaking yes, okay. So no zone completed, no cooldown. That is really nice. So if your partner just skips after the first section, I guess no zone. Yeah. So if the partner dies in the first section or anything, you can just quit. Or if if you just want to, even let's say you know the other guy, right? You are playing with him and he's building up his Morningstar. He dies, and it's better, I guess, to just quit and restart the run with the same person, and like that is also potential use. Then we have some new stuff coming, like root area effect triggers, striker or attack team style. We have a photo for that. It looks pretty cool. Like you can have another character come in the screen, and hopefully like they will still have different abilities and everything. So let's say you are playing with a character who doesn't have power control but otherwise is really solid. Let's say you're playing with Gwenpool. You push the opponent to his SP3. You swap, like you tag in magic, you use your SP2, drain their power, go back to Gwenpool, and something like that. So if that comes out, that would definitely be really interesting. Would open a lot of different areas of the game. So I'm happy for that. But all of these changes, like the stuff we are talking about in this particular category, is coming sometime in 2021, and it may never come. They're not saying that here, but we saw that with bases that was in the game, but it didn't show up ever. So maybe like it doesn't work out well. It's like there is stuff with this which will affect people with cheaper phones a lot. There are already a lot of players who get a lot of lagging and stuff. So the more you add on top of this, the worse it will get for them. So that is also something that you have to keep in mind. And solo competitive mode is also coming, which is something a lot of players have asked for. And right now in the current state, if you're not in alliance, you're not competitive basically. Like you can't do that much if you're not in alliance. You can still rank really high in arena and do well in solo events, but like the rank rewards for solo events, what will you do with them? So overall 4 roadmaps, for a lot of solid changes. Most excited about the champion version of the roadmap and the Act 6 nerf. The 6-tone changes are really nice, and hopefully the crystal will give me an Aegon finally, so that I can jump into Labyrinth of Legends or Abyss of Legends, or both. So thanks for listening. We're almost 40 minutes in. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Subscribe for more content and stay safe. Goodbye.